Good morning, everyone. Let's start again with Don't Fail, Ask Me Kill. Today's lesson is going to be about evaluating the 60 trigs for certain angles using the unit circle. Let me show you example. Just allow me to share my screen. Okay, so share a screen. So if I have these angles over here, all right, negative 240 and 7 pi over 4, and I need to find the 6 trig functions. Well, negative 240, if I want to graph the negative 240 or sketch the negative 240, that's my x and y axes, the 2, 1. Oh, my bad, my apology for that. Okay, so that's 1. Oops, I forgot to hit this. 1, 2. So my negative 240 angle is going to be clockwise because it's negative. From here to here is 90, 180, 240 is very much here, such that it's 180 plus 60 degrees. Before we move on, what is the reference angle of 240? Negative 240. Excellent. Someone saying 60. That is 60. Remember, reference angle has to do with the x-axis. So the negative 240 over here, it's in a second quadrant, which is the cosine is negative, the sine is positive. All right, so we're gonna treat and we're gonna copy whatever we have in angle 60 to angle 240 or negative 240, which is very much the coterminal of negative 240 is what? Exactly 120. So it's gonna be the same as 120. So negative 240, if I add 360 is going to be equal to 120. So I'm going to copy whatever I have for 120. So 120 is the same as 60. So 120 is going to be the same as 60, and it's also the same as 120. So 120 and 60, 240, these all are the same angles. So what I know about sine 60. Well, sine 60 is the same as cosine 30. And if sine 30 equal to 1/2, then cosine 60 is the same. So cosine here is going to be 1/2, and the sine will be the partner of 1/2. If you remember, I said it's the radical 3 over 2. Because 1/2 and radical 3 over 2 go together. Now, what do you know about tangent? The two ways to talk about tangent. Either sine over cosine, or you draw the right triangle. But I like to do sine over cosine. Sine, and instead of saying over cosine, I'm going to make it as divided by cosine. And let's go back a little bit here. If sine is radical 3 over 2, that's radical 3 over 2, divided by cosine is 1/2. So you remember the keep, change, flip, cancel. That means tangent is what? Excellent, radical 3. So tangent will be equal to radical 3. Now remember, I'm not quite done yet because I'm in a second quadrant. And what do you know about second quadrant? Exactly, the cosine is negative. So this has to be negative. And now if I divide in sine over cosine, sine divided by cosine, that means it's a positive, divide by negative, that has to also be what? Negative. Tangent is also negative on the second and fourth quadrant. You should remember that. Now, secant, what is the secant? Cosecant. The cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, all right? So let's come here. At this part is my square paper. And what is the reciprocal of sine? Is going to be 2 over radical 3. Well, you cannot have radical 3 on the bottom. So multiply top on the bottom by radical 3 over radical 3. The answer is going to be 2 radical 3 over 3. So radical 3 times radical 3, radical 9, which is radical 3. All right. So that's going to be 2 radical 3 over 3. How about secant is a reciprocal of cosine. So if cosine is negative half, so secant is negative 2/1, which is negative 2. How about cotangent? Well, cotangent is a reciprocal of tangent. So if tangent is 1 over radical, I'm sorry, is radical 3, reciprocal is 1 over radical 3. So we multiply top and the bottom by radical 3 over radical 3, and the answer is going to be to radical 3 over 3. So that is cotangent is radical 3 over 3. And of course, it's negative like tangent. All right, let's talk about 7 pi over 4. Well, let me catch first 7 pi over 4. 7 pi over 4. If I have my unit circle, oops, that's an oval. All right, and I have my 2 axes. 7 pi over 4, if you remember, that's a positive going counterclockwise, and it's multiple of 45 because it's over 4. And if you remember, when we did the lesson, we said it's a pi over 4 here, the 45. The 135 is we go by 2, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4 for 225. So 7 pi over 4 is in the fourth coordinate. 7 pi over 4, which is what? 315. So this angle is about 3, it's the same as 315. So we copy the reference angle, which is 45. So we're gonna copy whatever we have for 45. So this is the same as 315, which is the same as 45 degrees. And what do we know about sine and cosine in 45? Exactly. They're the same. Radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. And remember, sine in the second quadrant is the negative one. So this is negative. How about tangent? Well, let me go on a scrap paper here. So tangent could be either 1, radical 2 for the 45 degree triangle. So tangent tan 45 is 1 over 1, which is 1. Or you can use it as sine divided by cosine. So I divide radical 2 over 2 divided by radical 2 over 2, which is something divided by itself equal to 1. Or radical 2 over 2, keep change flipped, also equal to 1. But the best way is 1 over 1, which is what? 1. All right, get back here. So tangent equal to 1. And tangent in the fourth quadrant is positive because, I'm sorry, it's negative as well. On the fourth quadrant, sine divided by cosine, negative divided by positive is negative. Tangent is negative. Now, how about the cosecant and secant? Well, this is the same as, the both are the same. If sine equal to radical 2 over 2, then cosecant equal to reciprocal 2 over radical 2. Multiply both sides, top and bottom by radical 2 over radical 2. That's going to give me 2 radical 2 over 2, which is equal to what? Radical 2. Another way, which I really like, if I have a right triangle, and that is 1, radical 2. What do you know about cosecant? It's not opposite over hypotenuse. It's hypotenuse over opposite. Cosecant, hypotenuse over the opposite. That will equal to radical 2 over 1, which is radical 2 and 1 step. The both work together. The both will give me the same answer. So that's radical 2. And it's a reciprocal of sine. If sine is negative, it's going to be negative. How about secant? They're both the same, but it's a positive because it's a reciprocal of cosine. And cosine is positive on the fourth quadrant. And cotangent will be the reciprocal of negative 1, which still is negative 1. So that is a quick idea of how we find the 60 trigs using unit circle. All right, please study it. I'm gonna do this video as a QR code as well. So I'm gonna attach on my personal worksheet. You guys take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next video. And don't forget, don't fail, but excellent. Ask me, Take care, everybody.